quickly take our viewers through the regime changes that have happened after Trump became president. So, of course, Bangladesh in August 2024, when Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina had to flee after the widespread student protests that had turned violent. And such was the extent of that violence that it led to an ouster of Sheikh Hasina. She had to flee Bangladesh. In Syria, in December 2024, the long-standing Bashar al-Assad regime that collapsed. Meanwhile, in Nepal, one would remember the widespread protests in September 2025. Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli was forced to flee after the Gen Z uprising, given to the many domestic problems that Nepal was facing, along with unemployment and development. In Madagascar, in October 2025, when President Rajoelina was overthrown after protests. Similarly, in Guinea-Bissau, where in November 2025, the military had taken over on the day before the election results were announced. It was in December 2025 in Bulgaria, when the elected government had fallen over corruption scandals. And of course, now as we've just entered into 2026, literally on the third day of January 2026, that Venezuelan President Maduro, who was captured along with his wife, he was flown out of the United States. And Pranay, what a year it has been. One was hoping that it would be a peaceful start in 2026. Of all people, Donald Trump, who had been talking peace in 2025, the very pole plank that he had laid his campaign on. And now, after what we saw in Iran, Venezuela next, again, will action be taken? Okay, I believe Rohit wants to make a point there. Rohit.
Yeah, can I add something to that, Swesha?
Yes, please.
3 days ago, before heading into his New Year's Eve party, President Trump was asked by the press corps, what would he want in 2026? And he said peace, and peace for the world in 2026. That was on his agenda. So sorry, I had to interrupt, but go ahead with your question to Pranay.
Okay, Pranay, I quickly want to also highlight, since Rohit has made this point, one report that states that Trump has said that he had given the green light to capture Maduro days ago. In fact, he has said that the mission was carried out by the Delta Force of Army. Maduro's location was tracked by the CIA, and he had actually put out the approval, given the approval for Maduro's capture several days ago.
No doubt about that, Swisha. Such kind of operation can only be authorized by the US president, being the supreme commander of the US armed forces. Besides that, such kind of operation need to be approved much ahead of the execution time, because you have to work out the entire plan. If you see how US forces entered the Venezuelan airspace, they must have created an air corridor. They must have neutralized the air defenses of the Venezuelan military. They have knocked out the power station. They have created a chaos there, so that the forces, those who could have come in rescue of the president, they might they get distracted at various locations, and then a specialized Delta Force operation must have carried out, went right up to the location where, and they have extracted the president out, and by the time Venezuelan forces could react or can have a response or a situation, they are out of the Venezuelan airspace. So such kind of operation can only be carried out with the authorization of US president, one. And also, if you have noticed the recent statement by US President Donald Trump, this is what I mentioned just a while ago as well, that he had already given indication. He had been saying, I think people do not take his statement seriously, but if you see, he has been making these statements, be it Iran, be it Venezuela situation. He's quite clear. He had already made it that the regime or the government in Venezuela is untenable, and it will eventually lead to regime change. In as many words, he used the phraseology of regime change. So that's why I think the military build-up since September 2025 onwards in Caribbean, the preparation, and even last 30th and 31st of December 2025, there were operations carried out by the CIA and US military on the Venezuelan soil. not only in the waters of Venezuela, but they have recently carried out attacks on the Venezuelan soil as well. So I think President Donald Trump was amply clear that what he's up to, and in fact, the indication of the force accretion, the buildup of the very presence of U.S. aircraft carrier in the region, that was an indication that they are prepared for something big. And I think Rohit has also mentioned about it that President Donald Trump has already made it clear that he does not want to deal with Nicolas Maduro, and rather he wants to present him as a trophy before his electorate, that whatever he has committed to them in terms of like narcotics or drugs or the drug trade, he is delivering on all those promises. And I think we are only months away from the midterm polls of the United States, so there is domestic politics as well,
Right.
and there is a geopolitical message as well.
Right, Rohit, I really want to ask you if you view this as double speak by Trump and how he would be held accountable in his home ground.